Hey guys, Greg here. I'm going to dive right in today because I have an audition. It's for a multicam comedy and it's tomorrow. Literally all I can tell you. But in doing my prep work for this audition, it got me thinking about the ritual of the audition and the different elements to it. So I thought that I'd take this week's episode and talk about that. Talk about what it's like to prepare for an audition, the do's and don'ts that I've picked up over the years. Also, before we get underway, please do me a favor, give me a solid. See that red button down there that says subscribe? Go on ahead and smash that. Smash the like button if you like it, or dislike it if you don't like it. I at least want some feedback. Hit that bell so you can see when I've got more videos coming up. If you hear something that you like, or even if you hear something that you don't like, let me know about it in the comments. I want to have conversations going. I want to hear about your audition experiences. I want to hear your tips. So please, let's go on ahead and engage. I'm excited to talk to you folks. Of course, everything I say here is completely subjective. Your mileage may vary, your experience may be completely different. That doesn't mean it's invalid, it just means that it's different. But for those of you who haven't heard some of these things before, maybe this is your first time hearing these things, it gives you at least food for thought. First things first, first thing I can say that I've learned is not to post about it. But Greg, aren't you making a video about having an audition right now? And the first thing you say is not to post about it? Why yes, savvy internet user, yes, that is exactly what I am saying. I am saying don't post about your audition, and definitely don't post the details. When you post about having an audition, yay, I got the audition, it sets an expectation that your next post is going to be about booking it. And you don't want to set that expectation for your friends, your family, your colleagues, because, and this is my second point, you're probably not going to get the job. But wait, Greg, wait, how dare you say I'm probably not going to book this role? Of course I'm going to book this role. This is my big break. This is my opportunity. Why would I not get this role? Well, let me put it to you like this. Just from my experience in casting, when you put a role out online, you get anywhere from a couple hundred to even a couple of thousand submissions, okay? I get a couple of hundred submissions for non-paying nonprofit theater in Los Angeles. Now imagine what it's like when you have hundreds and hundreds, literally thousands of submissions coming in electronically for roles on one-hour dramas or multicam comedies or other kinds of projects. That's literally thousands of submissions that casting has to go through in order to figure out who they're going to call in and see in person. It's part of the reason why a lot of casting directors kind of keep a short list of their favorites. You know, folks they know of different types that they can call in to be like, yeah, I know this person's good. It's called booking the room, and that's something that as an actor you should definitely strive to do. Not necessarily book the project, but at least book the room. So, thousands of submissions. They're only going to call in 30, 50, maybe sometimes as few as 5 or 10. Let's say 30. 30 is a good round number. They call in 30 people for a role. Well, there's one job. So you've got a 1 in 30 shot of booking it. And I know, never tell me the odds. I mean, I'm wearing my Millennium Falcon shirt right now. Never tell me the odds. But those are the odds. So even if you get the audition, probably not going to get the job. And that's not a bad thing to realize. Keeping that in mind actually is psychologically freeing. There's no pressure if you think that you're not going to get it. So go in there and have fun. It's not an exact analogy, but Zen warriors would go into battle with the philosophy that they were already dead. And I don't mean they're thinking that they're zombies or anything stupid like that. No, they assumed that by going into battle that they were going to die. The freeing part about that is that they weren't focused on trying to stay alive. They just gave into the moment and did their thing. And if they survived, great. And if they died, well, can't say they weren't ready for it. But in that time, in that moment, they were able to just let go and just let their body and let their instincts do their thing. And they're, while I'm talking about life or death versus acting, there is a parallel there, a spiritual parallel to the idea of letting go and letting your body and letting your instincts do their thing. So, first rule of Audition Club, you don't post details about auditions. Second rule of Audition Club, you don't post about having an audition. Third rule of Audition Club, you're probably not getting the job anyway. But, like every smart Zen warrior, that doesn't mean you don't go into battle unprepared. You don't do that. You still need to take the time to do the preparation. So what kind of preparation do you need? This brings me to my third point. First things first, if there are sides available, get the sides. Read them out loud with a partner. If you don't have somebody in your immediate household to read with, call somebody you might know from an acting class, from work maybe. If you're at work, see if you got a friend who can run sides with you when you're taking a break. If you can't do any of that, check out weaudition.com, because you can actually get on there and upload your sides and get on a live video conference with a reader for 10 or 15 minutes and just run the sides. Or if you've got a little bit of money to burn and it's a really, really important audition, a really big opportunity, something that is potentially a big break, get an acting coach. Get somebody to coach your audition. There are plenty of acting teachers around town, and if you want some recommendations, I'll be happy to give them to you. Just ask me in the comments. But work the scene. Make strong choices. Figure out who your character is, what their relationships are. You know, all of the stuff that you've probably spent years learning how to do in fancy acting schools. Take that and do that. It's amazing how often actors don't do their proper homework. They don't rehearse the sides ahead of time. They don't learn the lines cold. That's another thing. Get off book if you can. Don't paraphrase. We've had people come in at Theater Unleashed and audition and paraphrase Shakespeare or Steinbeck when we did Of Mice and Men. Don't paraphrase. Is it a project that's been on the air? Watch a few episodes. Do your homework. Understand who the characters are. Understand where the story is. You know, understand where you fit, where the character that you're auditioning for fits into the story. Think about this logistically. Where is the audition? When is the audition? Is it on a gated lot or is it in an office? If it's on a gated lot, where is the gate in relation to their office? Is it right next to the gatehouse or is it a 20-minute walk all the way across the lot? Where do you park? Okay, this is Los Angeles, where I'm at. Traffic and parking is always a nightmare. So where do you park? There is an excellent website called actorswillbetowed.com. I'll put a link in the video description. They're great. They break down all the major casting offices on maps and they tell you where to park at each office. Awesome resource. Also, maybe scout it out the night before if you've got the time. Go do a drive-by, find a parking space. But also, research the production team. Research the show itself. Or if it's a film, watch clips of the directors and the producers and the writers' other works. What's their style? I mean, Joss Whedon's got a pattern. Tim Burton certainly has a visual style and is looking for particular things. This is the kind of stuff that's easy to research and figure out a way for you to fit in. And that just increases your odds. Just remember, you're probably not going to get the job anyway, right? Research the casting director. Who's going to be in the room? Do you know anybody who's auditioned for them before? Talk to them about the experience. See what they like, see what they don't like. Do they like hearing questions before the audition? Do they want you to read directly to them or to the camera? Where's your eye line? You know, these little things that you can walk in and just give an even more polished performance right off the bat. It doesn't hurt to know this stuff in advance. And finally, what to dress like. I've heard it described two ways. For episodic stuff or film stuff, suggest the character, but don't do it literally. So if you're reading for a doctor, maybe, you know, shirt, tie, maybe glasses, but you don't have to do the full lab coat, the stethoscope and stuff like that, but just give yourself like an authority figure. Learn about color theory and see what colors you can wear that will express that personality, because the color of your clothes sends a distinct message. So think about how you can use that to your advantage. Commercials, on the other hand, I've been told that they don't want to have to imagine things. That's when you want to bust out the stethoscope, and that's when you want to kind of come in more literally looking the part. That's what I've heard. When you've got your audition, don't be late. In production, time is literally money. People are being paid by the minute. If you're late to your audition, what does that say about your ability to show up on time to production? You need to be there early. Early is on time is late, late is you're fired. Remember to breathe. It's so easy to get tense and nervous and let our nerves get to us that we stop breathing, or we breathe shallowly and we don't really allow breath to fill our lungs and fill our bodies, and it creates a state of panic. It actually creates a panic cycle because the tension stops you from breathing, and when you don't get enough oxygen, your body goes into a panic mode, which seizes you up and stops you from breathing. And it's a feedback loop, very unpleasant one, and one that can take you out of your game. Taking a breath, remembering to breathe, helps you relax and be present and be flexible and enjoy the moment. Something else to keep in mind. Don't be an Wait, can I say on YouTube and not get demonetized? Who cares? Don't be an Be nice to everybody. You don't know what it is you're walking into when you walk into an audition. Production is a high-stress environment, and casting even more so. This is a job. This is an employment situation. It's exhausting. It's stressful. People might be short. People might be rude. You might think that people are being short or being rude, but maybe they're really just tired, or they're out of spoons, or they're down to their last thread, whatever. Thing is that 99 times out of 100, unless you're late or you're coming in with a crappy attitude or a whole bunch of problems, it's not you that's stressing them out, so don't take anything personally. And definitely don't be the one bringing your baggage in with you when you come into the audition room or even into the lobby. Be nice to the people that are in the waiting room. Be nice to the other actors. Just be nice, because it creates a positive environment for everybody else. And let me tell you, a little secret, when I've been producing and when I've been holding auditions for my company, Theater Unleashed, I do this thing called the check, and it's real. And at the end of the day, when we're making casting decisions, I put out all the headshots on the table or on the floor, wherever we are, and the first thing I ask, before we talk about anything else, the first thing I ask the person who was running auditions was, were there any in the group? And whoever they point out and say yes to, we take them out of consideration immediately, because we don't like working with Production itself is already stressful enough, so leave the baggage at home. Be nice to everybody. When you're in the room, hold the sides. Just hold them off to the side here. This way you've got them in case you need to refer to them. Obviously, you should know your lines because you work the sides, but there's a psychological effect of having the sides in hand that puts casting and your mind at ease. Because if for some reason you have a brain fart, you can just immediately refer to them and carry on, and it's not a big deal. So you have given your audition, and it was awesome. You think you're done, and they stop you. And they say, hey, can you try it like this? What is that supposed to mean? You did it wrong? They didn't like you? No, not at all. No, what they're asking for is they want to know what else you can do. They want to know if you could take direction. Redirects are really important. Honestly, as someone who's been on the other side of the table, it's heartbreaking the number of times I see somebody give an outstanding performance, something really well done, really well thought out, really well rehearsed, and when I asked for them to do something different, they gave me exactly the same performance again. So don't get so inflexible with your rehearsing of the material that you can't do something different if asked. All right, so you're done now. You just finished your audition. You're heading out, heading back to your car. It's the first thing that I do. I take the sides and I find a trash can. And I do like so. Because I'm done. And I find that throwing the sides away is a good way to let it all go. One of the other things I do is practice gratitude. This is a business of building relationships. And a good way to build a solid relationship with somebody is to remember to say thank you when they do something for you. Say thank you to the casting director as you leave the room. Say thank you to their assistant. And then, if you really want to be remembered, if you really want to make a good impression, send them a handwritten thank you note to their office afterwards. They'll help remember you. Don't put a stamp with your face on it. Don't put a business card. Don't make it a marketing thing. Just send them a genuine thank you and sign your name. It's amazing how far a little kindness goes. After the audition, as a little bit of self-care, I always like to have plans with a friend. Whether it's going out and getting a drink, going to a movie, getting a cup of coffee. I like to have something scheduled because it helps get my mind off of what I just did. Helps stop me from dwelling on did I get the part or didn't I get the part. So it's been 24 hours since the audition. Haven't heard anything. I did my wrap-up work. I sent a handwritten thank you note. I put the casting director on my casting database list, and I also tracked her on IMDb. I also let my agent know. I just shot him a quick email, just letting him know how everything went. And now it's back to working on everything else, back to making the rest of the hustle happen. Back when I started auditioning, I would really get my heart set on booking jobs and get really excited to do a role that I had read for because, oh my God, it's so amazing and I'm so excited and it's a big break and it's all this other stuff. And I would be really heartbroken when I didn't get it. Now, knowing that I probably wasn't going to book the job anyway, just statistically speaking, it's okay. I'm able to let it go and not be fraught with disappointment when it doesn't go my way. Part of what helps me move on and not be all distressed is having something else to do. You know, it's one thing to go and have coffee or have dinner or, you know, meet with a friend or go do something immediately after the audition just to kind of like get your mind on something else. But I think it's important to be creative and it's important to have other things happening in your life and other projects that you're working on. So this way you're not just relying on the phone to ring and praying for a 1 in 30 shot to go your way. Right now, I'm going to a class at the SAG-AFTRA Foundation. Other days, I have on-camera classes through the SAG-AFTRA Conservatory, or I'm meeting with people regarding projects. I mean, I've got 3 different plays that I'm writing, a show that I'm producing, websites that need updating, and I run my own business. So acting, while it is my passion and it is my end game, it's not the only thing I have going right now. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, if you haven't already, do me a favor, smash that like button. That should be right down below me, right over here. Hit that little bell to know when the next video is coming out. And let me know what you think. If you have questions, if you have thoughts, if you have other observations that I didn't cover in the video, I would love to hear them. So thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you next week.